had a chance to win a game and came up short. We're disappointed with that. Had we played better first half defense, I think we would have been in a position to win the game, and didn't do what we needed to do, particularly in that first half. Had some third down situations. Even right away in the first drive, we had a chance to get out of a drive. Had 2 penalties that extended it, and 2 other additional penalties later in the game. So some things we got to get cleaned up, and hopefully we'll do that this week. So, questions you guys have?
Jay, you guys ran that zone coverage, obviously, at Indiana. I know Chris talked about the reasons why you would do that, but is that something you might have to go away from, given how much success they seem to have getting guys open in space?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what plays you're talking about specifically, but there were times we had some run blitzes called that were real effective, but people don't always run the ball when you call a run blitz. Sometimes they'll throw an RPO or something, so the coverage is a little loose. It's not designed to be like tight man, like you might be on, say, third down. So there may be some things we have to look at tweaking. And again, I'm not sure if I'm speaking in reference exactly to what you're talking about, but that's probably it.
What are some of the things that stand out about Illinois this week when you look at them?
Well, they've changed offensively. A heavy dose of quarterback run game, and they're throwing a lot of RPOs and play action passes, and it appears as though they are determined to find a way to run the football through lots of different formations and quarterback run game plays, and they're real effective doing it. They've gotten off to a good start offensively. They've moved the ball. They've scored some points, and they've got a new quarterback in the system, and one guy that's I guess on the fence from an injury standpoint, but expecting him probably to be back. So. Very diverse offensively, and they spread the field and stretch you vertically and horizontally. So a little different than last year.
Third downs again was a problem, in the first half. What do you do to fix that, and what was the main thing maybe that went wrong that led to all those conversions?
Sure. Well, like I said, the first series of the game, we had opportunities to get off the field on third downs. In both instances, they were extended by penalties. Combative penalties, foolish penalties, I guess it's up to the eye of the beholder to determine that. I think both were preventable, I will say that, and it's disappointing that we did have the penalties, because there would have been 7 less points on the board, at least coming off of that drive. Some of the other conversions that they had, in all honesty, had a lot to do with our ability to contain the quarterback and keeping guys in position where the contain was established. At times it was, and guys that were in pass coverage left their man because they felt like they had to help come and contain the quarterback, when in fact they really didn't need to. So balls got dumped over our heads between the safeties and the DBs and the linebackers, and they were able to extend drives. Honestly, that's a lack of discipline. We've got to do better in those situations, and again, if we just take care of our assignments better and you do what the defense calls for, then I think we're off the field in some of those scenarios. So that's got to get cleaned up. It's frustrating for everyone, the coaches, the players, the fans. I get it, and we're working hard, and we're going to get it fixed.
I guess, do you think the defensive line made some improvements in this past week? I know it seemed like in the middle you guys were able to shut down a lot of runs. And I noticed that Kevin Wilkins bumped inside, I think, on a pass rush down. Is that something you may do more of going forward?
Yeah, I think that the run defense overall, there was a couple runs that got out on us. Nothing that was extremely lengthy like we've seen in a couple of the previous games. None that went for touchdowns, which I guess that's an improvement in and of itself. I thought that, again, some of the things that we did in the run game with regards to that specific game plan were real effective. As far as Kevin moving inside, as you guys know, we've got some depth issues, As you all know, Ellen Lamar did not play in that game, so Mike Tverdoff had to move to end, which further complicated, I guess, some of the options for rotations that we can use in there. And so we do have to look at that possibility. Kevin does move inside on third down and a lot of stuff that we do, but even on first and second down defense, that might have to become something that we consider.
Now that he's played a few games under his belt, Avery Young, just your impressions of how he's been able to do and the work that he's.
I just think the world of Avery Young. He's a great competitor. He's a super young man. He's got an unbelievable future here, I think. He's making great progress. I'm sure he's going to continue to make some freshman mistakes as we move forward, but he is improving every day, and a lot of that's just attributed to his work ethic, his character, the way he goes about things on the practice field, and I'm real happy with his progress. He's going to be a very good player here.
Coach, you mentioned Tverdoff, and I know you have a lot of injuries there with Wainwright playing behind him. Tverdoff went down just for a play, but if he got hurt, who would you go to also at that position behind Wainwright?
Well, at that point, that was what we had to do. Naeem Anderson has become a player who's now eligible. He transferred earlier in the season, as you guys probably know. So we went through the process of the eligibility and going through compliance, the NCAA, and so forth. And he is eligible, and he did play a little bit in special teams actually Saturday. So he's a guy now that we're trying to groom to get ready for those what we call Sam and Jack spots. The outside backer, particularly into the boundary, the jack. So he did rep there throughout the practice week, but he's brand new to that position because we brought him in here to play linebacker. But out of necessity, we needed to start repping him there just so we could have some depth built. So depending on Elam's availability this coming week, which we're hopeful he'll be able to play, but Naeem's going to have to rep there, so we got another guy ready to go.
About Trey Avery, we heard a lot about him coming into the season. What's been holding him up?
Well, he's recovering. He did some stuff on the field yesterday, and I thought looked pretty good moving around. I didn't get a chance to watch him a whole lot, but he was out there doing some drill work, and I thought looked pretty good. So hopefully he'll be available to us this week. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.